Francesca. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are making this adorable pumpkin shaped bread loaf. It is so good. It is so yummy. Every time I have tested this recipe and made it, everybody devoured it. You're going to love it. The bread itself is so delicious, and of course it just looks so beautiful. Perfect for any, fall gathering you're having, any holiday table. It is just going to be such a centerpiece and look so stunning. As always, the full runout recipe is on my blog. There's a link in the description box down below for that. I include a lot of stuff in the blog post, so if you have any questions, go check out the blog post because I work really hard on them. And also in the description box are all the ingredients written out, anything I think you might need for this recipe. Sign up for my newsletter, get my cookbook. There's lots of stuff in the description box to help you out. If you like my videos, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and please make sure to interact with the video. I see that some of you have not been getting notified that I'm even putting out new videos. So if you are someone who has the opportunity that you saw this video, YouTube kind of depends on interactions to push the videos out more. So just give it a like, leave a comment. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, let's go make this delicious pumpkin bread. Before we start this recipe, I'm going to strongly advise you to use a kitchen scale for this to get precise measurements. We're going to use bread flour for this recipe. It works really well because we are making bread and it has a higher protein content. Then we're going to add in organic sugar and salt and just give that a mix until that is all well integrated. Then we are going to use instant yeast, or you can use active dry yeast, but I just don't like to wait for it to proof. So I use instant. Mix that in there so that way it's all incorporated well. Then we're going to attach our paddle mixer, and I'm going to add in my pumpkin puree, and I'm going to put the top down and slowly start to mix, and then slowly add in my warmed up non-dairy milk. I'm using the non-dairy milk from Ripple. It's a pea protein milk and it works really well. I really like it. And I'm just slowly adding that in until the dough starts to look like this. It'll take about 2-ish minutes on a medium-low speed. Then I'm going to add my dough hook attachment, and we are going to let this knead for about 10 minutes until it forms into a really nice smooth dough ball. You can of course do this by hand, but it will take a little elbow grease, so whichever way you want to do it. So once it's all done, I'm going to pop it into a nice big bowl, and you don't need to coat this in oil or anything, don't worry. I'm just going to work it into a circle. It doesn't need to be perfect. And then we're going to cover it with a clean dish towel, and we're going to let this proof for about 1 hour to 1.5 hours. I like to put mine in an oven that is turned off with the light on. I find that is the best way to proof in my house. It is done proofing. Remove the towel and just press the air out, which is the most satisfying feeling. We are going to take some baker's twine. I have it linked in the description box in case you don't know what baker's twine is. And we are going to cut 4 strands about 15 to 20 inches long, and just cut up your strings, and this is going to help make our pumpkin have a pumpkin shape. So after I'm done cutting them, I'm just going to put this to the side. I'm going to take my dough and I'm going to really work it nicely into a really nice smooth circle as best as I can. I'm not the best with putting dough into a circle, but you can make it work, and just keep kind of moving it around, smoothing it out with your hands. This is a pumpkin wash, so it is a pumpkin puree mixed with non-dairy milk. Just start to rub that all over the dough. This is going to give a really nice outer crust to our bread, and of course give some nice color, and it'll just make it look a little more orangey. So now I'm going to take my strings and I'm going to lay them across in a cross pattern, and then lay them on the diagonal. So now we have what kind of looks like a star. I'm going to place it top side down so that messy bottom is underneath, because we want the top to be really nice and smooth. I'm going to start tying the strands, and I'm leaving enough space because the bread is obviously going to cook and rise. So you want to have, space for that to do that. So I cut the strings off, and then once they're all done, I'm going to flip the bread. At this point, you can move the strings around if you need to. You may need to adjust them. I needed to. It's not that big of a deal. Now, you're going to take either a paring knife or a really sharp knife or a bread razor, and you're just going to start making little marks in each section. I kind of do like a diagonal V that's unattached. This is going to help the bread when it cooks, but also it just makes, of course, a beautiful design. So it'll look something like this. To cook this bread, you either need a Dutch oven or a pot that is oven safe with a lid. For example, the one I'm using here is from Ninja, and it works fine for this. So whatever you have. It is lined with parchment paper, and I'm just going to cut off any excess off the top. We're going to pop that lid on, and this is going into an oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 40 minutes with the lid on. So you're going to let that bake, and you'll see it's going to start to get nice and golden. Then we're going to remove the lid, and let that cook for another 5 to 7 minutes. And that'll be that. Your bread will be done, and the house is going to smell amazing. Carefully take it out from the pot. Obviously be careful, it's hot. And then while it's still warm, but you can touch it finally, you're going to take off the strings. The quicker you can do this, the better, because you don't want them to set into the bread. You want to be able to pull them out. So just as quickly as you can do this. But obviously be careful because it is hot bread. So then once I pull off all the strings, you do want to let this cool for about 15 minutes. I'm going to take my knife, make a little X on top, and stick a cinnamon stick on top of there. And that is it. Now you have this adorable little pumpkin bread loaf. I mean, you cannot tell me that this is just not the cutest loaf of bread. And it tastes so good. It is so fluffy, but also dense, and it just is really amazing. I really want you guys to try this recipe. And if you don't want to shape it into a pumpkin, you of course don't have to, but it's like minimal effort for a really big result. I think anybody who sat down at a table where this bread was being served would think that you are just the best baker in the world, and it's not that hard to do. Of course, we have to slice into it, and it's perfect inside. So I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. If you try it out, let me know how it goes. And like I said before, full written out recipe is on my blog. Thanks for watching, thanks for being here, and I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye!